I would consider the use of uranium in non-fissile penetrating weapons and bunker busters, whether they contain high explosives or not, to be effectively a nuclear weapon. I'm TEDD WEYMAN. I am the Deputy Director of the Uranium Medical Research Centre, which is a medical and scientific research organization, non-profit, voluntary organization in Canada and the U.S. We're opening up offices also in London. And I have been involved in uranium contamination research since the mid-90s, following Gulf War I, when I began working with Dr. Asaf Durakovic to conduct studies of the possible inhalation of uranium in veterans, Canadian, U.S., and British veterans at that time. It's known, even if it's known secretly, so to speak, or let's say quietly or tacitly, on a worldwide scale, that these things have got long-term implications no one wants to face. If you don't have a moral objection, you might have a pragmatic objection, which might be the liabilities that a nation faces for permanently contaminating another nation's environment. Saddam Hussein was a short-lived event, but uranium contamination in Iraq will last for millions of years. So the liabilities are very significant when you have veterans and civilians of every nation that participated being contaminated, or every nation that was in the receiving end, or every nation that was in the sending end are contaminated. So it's a matter of time before the United States, Britain, Australia, Canada become accountable for their own veterans' poor health and the contamination. Will they ever become accountable for what they have done to Iraqi civilians, or Bosnian or Serbian civilians, or Japanese or Puerto Rican civilians where they've tested these weapons? I'm not sure, but certainly that's the issue. If they don't have a moral objection, then they need maybe to get a more pragmatic concern, because I think they'll see more and more effort on an international scale, particularly through the UN, to find these organizations, or find these countries who have deployed these weapons liable through the UN. Now, who has the weight in the UN? Who controls the Security Council? Maybe one country or two countries can sustain the recognition of their liability and maybe not actually be found to be guilty. I don't know. Well, I mean, obviously the United States resisted the establishment of the International War Crimes Tribunal. I would consider the use of uranium in non-fissile penetrating weapons and bunker busters, whether they contain high explosives or not, to be effectively a nuclear weapon, because it is dispersing nuclear materials, radioactive nuclear materials. It is effectively no different than a fissile or nuclear bomb. The only difference is one is a massive explosion.
If you are an environmentalist, this is your cause. If you are a leader, this is your mandate. If you are a parent, this is your responsibility. If you are a student, this is your mission. If you become the victim of nuclear radiation, this is your life. And if you are human, this is your day to save the world. Sign the petition today at theatomproject.org.